What's going on, everyone? It's Emcee Rapology here with Declan Dunne.
What's going on, Steckers? 48 season. Kicking
now,
back.
So now we're just going to talk about some hip hop, what we've been doing. Oh, and by the way, big shout out to Vexx with his new album out called Lower Class Hero. Dope album, go check that shit out. Big ups to DJ Deno, One Love. So man, Dex, tell me, like, what got you into hip hop, bro? Like,
Damn. Always, to be honest with you, bro, like, it's always been around, you know? And the era that I grew up in, bro, seeing everything on TV, and what was commercial at that time was like fucking a lot of shit, bro. Like Black Eyed Peas, fucking just random shit like that. Eminem was doing his thing. I loved Eminem.
yeah.
But like back then when I was seeing all that shit, I didn't see that as hip hop, you know what I mean? Like I didn't see all that as hip hop until I started listening to like Tupac, really getting into it, bro. And then I got shown by one of my mates. He showed me like Nas, Mobb Deep, and Tupac. I was so into Tupac, but
Yeah, I think everyone was back then.
he was dissing them in his tracks. So I was like, nah. I was like, fuck that. I'm not listening to them. But then I dug into it, and then I had like 1,000 different hip hop songs, like old school, Big L, Big Pun,
Big L was
Easy E. I tell you, bro, back in the day,
Yeah.
bro, I was like I was like 14. It's probably about 14, and it was 2010. So whatever age I was then, I think I was 13. And I had a Compton hat.
Yeah.
Had the flat cap Compton hat, and I was at the skate park, bro, in Jubilee Pocket, and this fella come up to me and was like, "Oh, Easy E," and I didn't even know it was Easy at the time.
Yeah.
And then he said Easy E. I went home that day and I looked up Easy E and I was like, fucking straight out of Compton.
He was a gangster, man. Like, in his time, he was probably the most, apart from Ice Cube, was probably the most predominant person in NWA. And it's just unfortunate that he died so young.
Bro,
like, he died too young.
Yeah, man. Rest in peace to Easy E, bro. Legend. Godfather of gangster rap. Rest in peace,
I mean,
man.
considering he died in 95 and his name is still known to this day, like his name still resonates with people all around the world. The fact that we're talking about him now is a testament to that.
And he couldn't even rap, bro, at the start.
Yeah, that's right.
Dre taught him how to rap.
Most of his stuff was being ghostwritten, you know, like Ice Cube was writing a lot of his shit too, you know. Ice Cube was someone that I probably listened to more than Eazy-E, to be honest, only because, like, in the 90s, like, everyone was onto Ice-T, because, like, and Ice Cube, all those kind of early gangster rappers. So, like, you know, NWA was out, Ice-T was out.
Yeah.
Tupac wasn't even really known back then. Back when I was like coming up, like listening to, you know, my young days, listening to rap music, I was probably more inspired by a lot of those old school rappers. But then, you know, because I'm in my 30s, you know, like the start of the 90s was more about like those, you know, early gangster rappers. And probably the ones that I listened to were like, you know, your Ice-T's and Rakims and
You're from like a before era than me.
Yeah.
I come up listening to like fucking all the deceased rappers, bro. All the deceased legends. Big Pun, Big L, Eazy, Tupac, Biggie, fucking who else is there? There was a few other ones, Proof.
Yeah.
And then I just bro, before I was going to school, I was going on YouTube and converting. No, I was going on LimeWire.
I remember that shit, man. That's going back some time. LimeWire, man, I love that shit. When that first came out, I was on 56k dial-up, and that shit was slow as hell. It would take me a whole week to download a whole rap album, man. Like, I'd have to be real careful about what I wanted to download because, like, it would take forever.
I remember, bro, my sisters used to diss me, bro. They used to diss me like, oh, you listen to Tupac and you think you're a gangster. And I started rapping his songs in the morning and shit, and she'd be like, oh, look at your rap voice and that. And then I remember on my birthday a few years later, she bought me a cigarette tin with a Tupac logo on it.
well, I remember when Tupac actually died. That's when he started becoming like his music became known after he died. Because I remember when he was alive in Australia, it didn't really take off here. It's only after a good year after he died that everyone started like listening to Pac here. Like,
bro, I remember, bro, 2004, whatever, when Tupac dropped the Ghetto Gospel.
Ghetto Gospel, yeah.
I remember seeing that on TV, like when I was younger. Like that was commercial, bro. It was on TV and that. And then, as I got older, I started looking more into his character. But yeah, man, I started looking at Nas, Mobb Deep, and I started getting more deeper into hip hop. But I mostly listen to like my favorite rappers, bro. It's probably gonna be like straight up off the top, like Styles P, in no order.
Yeah.
Styles P's
dope.
Cormega, Freddie Gibbs, Joey Badass. You know.
Well, they're real lyrical
who
rappers.
Who are some of your favorite rappers, bro?
To be honest, like if we're going like from the early days, it would have to be Rakim. He was dope. The Paid in Full album was dope. Big Daddy Kane, exceptionally dope. Compton's Most Wanted, the group. MC8, Spice One,
Tretch.
Tretch from Naughty by Nature, Tupac became big after his death here. I started getting into Pac.
Bro, Hussein Fatal.
Yeah, Hussein Fatal was dope, man. I actually got the pleasure of building a working relationship with Fatal.
Bro, like, that Hussein Fatal freestyle on YouTube is fucking crazy. How he's sitting there. I like to say, na 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 night na day na night na day, better on the night than day. I do this shit from night to day. He has
when Pac died, the Outlaws became like a big thing. Like I remember everyone I knew was into the Outlaws. Like the Still I Rise album dropped. That shit was like on everyone's playlist, man. That was before the days of digital playlists. I'm talking about like people used to have CDs in their car, and they'll be bumping the Outlaws. Yeah, that's how far back my shit like goes. Like I'm old school as like, and Fatal's 2 albums, like I was onto those albums, man. I played them religiously.
I've never really gotten into his albums like that.
In the Line of Fire was
one
of my favorites.
It's always like I think music for me, bros, is like some of my bros hit me up and they'd be like, oh, listen to this. I was like, nah. Yeah. I mean, like you gotta. For me, it comes and I'll dig deep into an artist and I'll be like, fuck, I'll really vibe with it,
Well, to be honest, like, and then I went through my phase where 50 Cent hit the scene, and of course Eminem was big, and like I got really into a lot of M's music and G Unit music, and then Dipset,
Cameron,
and then I followed music right up to the point where it started changing into a form that I couldn't vibe with anymore. Like a lot of this mumble rap shit, like I don't know, not a big fan of it. Though saying that, there is a little bit of mumble rap that I can tolerate. Lil Xan, like, probably makes some dope shit. A few other mumble rappers make some dope shit, but most of the mumble rap.
I don't even know what like category is mumble rap. I'm not hating on people that wanna bash the fucking mumble rappers, but I would like someone to tell me like he's a mumble rap, and if he's a mumble rapper, I don't care. Like I don't really put people in categories. I just like to be like, he's dope. Nah, I don't really like his stuff.
Well, I think the way music's changed now, like American rap, now I don't really vibe with it too much. It's more the Aussie rap.
Aussies, bro. The Aussies are coming up, bro.
The Aussie rap is so talented and always has been. Aussies have always been underrated when it comes to rapping, and I think now, with dudes like Chillin' It, and Spanian, Curse, there's some fucking.
The Aussie scene is crazy right now.
And you know what? The Aussie scene has still got more room for growth than anyone could possibly imagine.
Especially with this COVID shit, bro. Like, I feel like Queensland's not really on lockdown, You got Sydney's been in lockdown and Melbourne's been in lockdown real bad. Perth's not really in lockdown.
Yeah.
They still got dope scenes, but like I feel like we've been locked down for so long.
Yeah.
That I feel like when everything opens up again and we get to do shows, I feel like this Aussie rap scene, bro, it's just bro, it's getting bigger and bigger, man. There's so many good artists coming out, you know, and
like Complete, who's an absolute god of rap, Aussie rap here. Like,
I've been listening to Aussie rap for as long as I've been listening to American rap.
Yeah, I'm the same. Like, you know, for me,
But hard out, bro.
for me, the early days was Bias B. Like, Bias B was someone that I listened to back in the day. So Bias B is someone that's always resonated with me. And then, you know, Hilltop Hoods, of course, and Bliss.
Yeah, Hilltop Hoods. I remember I just went on YouTube, bros, and it was at the time that Hilltop Hoods like got back together or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what was happening at that time, but they like split up and then they got back together and they did like this big fucking show. And I was on YouTube, but the footage to the show was like high quality and shit. Like it wasn't live, it was like a high quality video. So I was watching the show and I was like, nah, these guys are good. And I was young, bro.
Well, to me, Hilltop Hoods, like a group like that, any group in music is always going to have problems. There's always going to be discord. There's always going to be, you know, something that goes wrong. People have a different vision. There's always difficulties about working in a group. Like,
how have you felt working with? Have you been in a group, or have you...
I have been in a group and I've experienced the dynamics of working in a rap group.
How do you feel like
a lot of dysfunction?
How do you feel like working with an artist? Like, not even just me. Like,
well, in my early days working in a rap group, there were egos that clashed and people that, you know, had a different way that they wanted to do things, and then there would be a lot of clashing. I found that working in a group, actually in a rap group, in a rap band,
it easier or
no, it was difficult. It was difficult because people wanted to outdo each other. It was very competitive because Aussie hip hop in general is competitive, and when you have a group, you're gonna have like at least two competitive motherfuckers, and they're gonna want to shine.
That could be a good thing, you know, because WuTang Clan.
But if you look at WuTang Clan, they had members that
they were competitive.
They were competitive to the point where they almost killed each other at the start. Like there are stories that go back to the early days of the WuTang Clan where they almost killed each other. The same with Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Bro, I forgot Crazy Bone. Crazy Bone. He's in my list of rappers, bro. He's there. Crazy Bone, Heated Heavy, What You Want to Do, Can't Get Out the Game. You know.
I think, you know, a group like Bone Thugs and Harmony have had so many iterations of their group and had so much conflict that you could document it in about 10 books. And it's the same with any hip hop group. If you have a look at groups in general in hip hop, there's going to be conflicts, and if a group can last more than 3 or 4 years in hip hop, they're doing well. That's in my opinion, from my experience.
WuTang Clan came out in 1993 with their debut album.
They did.
In my opinion, their last dopest album, bro, was in 1997, which was their next album, WuTang Forever.
To me, the dopest.
Their next album was the W.
But you know, to me, that their dopest album would have to be Only Built for Cuban Links Part 2.
Is that WuTang Clan?
That's or Raekwon. That's that album. That Part 2 features like all of them, just about.
Oh really? Part 2?
Yeah, with the exception of ODB.
So that's a WuTang Clan album.
That is. You could consider it a WuTang Clan album.
We gotta search that up.
Yeah, Only Built for Cuban Links Part 2. One of their best works in my opinion.
I've never heard it, man.
And I'm
Part 2. Here we go.
Yeah, it is dope.
No, it's an album, bro. It's by Raekwon. You're gonna have to cut that shit out.
Yeah, but no, it's but to me that is a WuTang album, even though it features Raekwon.
Solo.
If you have a look at all the
No, I was talking like WuTang Clan,
like as a
group, bro.
So, like
as a group, not as a
group. Well, if you're going as a group, right? To me, you could take something like that and say that was a group because all those songs feature nearly all the members of WuTang. Right. Even though it's a concept like Raekwon, is claiming that album as his, like, or that's the way they're going to market that. That to me is a WuTang Clan project. You know, if you had to go strictly on like the releases as the WuTang Clan brand, then I don't know. You've got to look back at their their last release. You know, it wasn't that strong.
I don't even know what their last album was.
They brought out an album like a few years ago, right? And I listened to a lot of the songs on there, but it just didn't have the same appeal that their earlier stuff had. I don't know, like to me, yeah, they've got some dope albums, but like a lot of their later stuff, I don't know, it's probably not the best.
I feel like their album from 1993 and then 1997 was like, it was crazy, bro. Like, they had a double LP in 1997, then their next album was the W.
Yeah, the W, I don't know, I didn't really...
Come out in like 2000.
Yeah, I didn't really feel like many songs on the W, man, like, to be honest. Like, that double album they brought out
Mobb Deep, they're infamous, bro.
Woo! Yeah, they were a
That's
dope...
a classic.
They were a dope duo, Mobb Deep.
They were signed to the same label, bro.
You know, in all honesty...
Loud Records.
In all honesty, I went through the phase where I hated on Mobb Deep.
I hated on Mobb Deep too, bro.
Simply because I was drawn into that whole,
Tupac thing,
thing.
Yeah, bro. Tupac made me hate Jay-Z, bro.
Yeah, I went through that phase.
Bro, Jay-Z. I hated Nas and
Chino
Mobb Deep.
XL, like, and you know, Chino.
Bro, I still hate Chino XL.
Chino XL, like, is someone that, like, you know, I didn't really know much about. All I knew was that like Park didn't like him back in the day.
I just heard Tupac hit him up.
Yeah.
But first I watched Tupac Resurrection, the movie, the documentary, and then I watched Tupac hit him up, and then I was like, whatever Tupac says is fucking Mobb Deep's whack. Jay-Z's whack.
To be honest, when I first listened to Park, like back in the 90s, like, you know, he wasn't in that East Coast West Coast beef, and I didn't really like think too much of his earlier works, but it's only once time went by, and of course, you know, albums like Are You Still Down came out, and Me Against the World, Me Against the World, and then of course All Eyes on Me, and then of course Puck goes from being at the top of his game to passing away. And then they released, their greatest hits album, and then until the end of time.
Until the end of time. I love that beat, bro.
And that's when I really became a hardcore Puck fan. I really got into the music.
I actually love that beat, the Until the End of Time beat.
Yeah, that's a dope interpolation. Just a lot of music that Puck had was built on a lot of classic music that was, interpolated to fit hip hop, and I think.
Have you seen Gang Related?
Gang Related, yeah, I have, yeah.
I watched that recently.
And I've listened to the Gang Related soundtrack.
It's on Stan.
Somewhere at home, I've actually got the Gang Related soundtrack. I actually got that when it came out, a CD from Gang Related.
Yeah, I had a few CDs, eh? What CDs did you have in your collection?
I had.
Or still have?
All my CD collection is gone, unfortunately. I lost a lot of my CDs, and I had collections from everyone. So I collect like boot camp click albums.
You didn't lose the Winter Day CD I gave you?
No, I still got that one. That's one of the only CDs I've still got. I've got that. I've got some Morns CDs. I've got a Mr. Morg CD.
Shout out to the Aussie fucking OGs of this hip hop shit, man.
Yeah, fucking
Art of War.
Luke Vexx, Luke Vexx is someone who goes back to the early days.
Fucking shout outs to Joel Turner, bros.
Yeah.
Hard out.
And there's so many people that came before me, and that laid the foundations. And I think now I look at all the hard work that was done to put Aussie rap on the map.
Shout outs to all the new shit too.
Yeah, and shout out to Wise Guys Global and all these people in the States that support Aussie rap, because there's a lot going on to try and help Aussie rap, and a lot of the
Aussie rap, bro. Woo!
There's a lot of people.
It's exciting, bro. It's definitely exciting.
My dream is to see Aussie rap a force to be reckoned with internationally. I want to see Australians get a lot more love overseas. I think there's a lot that's going to happen in the next 10 years. People are going to build on the culture and push this shit to the forefront. And I think people like me and you can do that. I think, even though now I'm at a point in life where I still love music, I think it's time for the younger generation to come up and do their bit for Aussie hip hop. I feel like I've done a lot. There's still a lot more I can do, and I haven't done as much as what some people have done for the culture, like DJ Deno, who's incredible, who's done so much for hip hop.
Deno, bro. Shout outs to Deno.
I think there's still a lot that can be done with people that are young, that love hip hop, that rap, that live and breathe music, that can build on this culture and do even more. And I think that's what's going to happen. And I see Aussie hip hop going from strength to strength, just like it always has.
I see it, bro, just getting bigger and bigger. And to be honest, bro, I see it becoming more commercialized or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I could say that, and it can be taken in many different ways. But I think I see it being bigger, bro. Just more money put into it, more commercialized, more labels, more deals.
To me, I think if there is
a lot more. But importantly, bros, a lot more artists coming out and a lot more good artists and good music, bro. Because there's a lot of good music in Australia right now, bro.
There is.
In hip hop and rap.
And I think the most important thing is that people can't give up on their dream, because there's a lot of dope rappers that would give up on their dream and make it big, that have the potential to make it big. That there's a lot of setbacks in this music game. That's what comes with being.
Bro, I know so many dope rappers, bro, who don't even fucking have a track. You know what I mean,
that's
bro?
right. The backpack rappers, the freestyle rappers out there. I've met some of the dopest rappers I've met have music that they don't release to the world, and I'm thinking there's a lot of shit people.
Some people, they don't. I'd say they're scared, bro. Not scared, but they're like, they feel uncomfortable to release that to people.
That's right. They maybe not have the confidence. They may not believe in themselves, and they may not, have that aspect on lock. But that's the thing with this Aussie hip hop. You've got to have thick skin, as I was saying before. There's a lot of haters out there. And as you go on and come up, a lot of people are going to talk shit and all sorts of things and hate. The doper the artist, the more music they release, the more the hate increases. That's where you just got to not worry about what the haters say. Keep releasing your music. Keep chasing your dreams, and you'll make it. And I think that's what it's all about. I think a big part of that, a big part of the success story, like someone like me, I knew 360 back before 360 was even known as 360, and that dude was prolific. He was prolific. Matt used to do shows non-stop, and I remember his work ethic was incredible. I'd never seen anyone work as hard as what he worked to make a name for himself, and he did as many shows as he could, night and day. He did not stop working, he did not stop recording, he did not stop doing shows, did not stop advertising his music. And it was before the days of mainstream social media, and he still made a name for himself. There was no Insta back then.
He made a fucking big name for himself.
And Facebook wasn't even around back then, and he still made a name for himself because he just did that many shows, sold that many albums to people at his shows, did everything he could to make sure people knew who he was. His hustle game was incredible, and there are not many MCs I've seen that had the same hustle game as 360. And the reason he was so successful, not because he just the dope music alone, because he has some incredible music, but he had incredible hustle. And that's what you need: incredible hustle, incredible music. These days it's even harder because with social media you need an incredible persona as well now. So you have to be either a troll or have a personality where people are going to pay attention, or you need to say funny shit or get your name out there. and make people laugh at you, make people laugh with you.
You need to be doing shit. You need to be doing shit. You need to be releasing music.
Proactive to the max. Proactive to the max. And I think it's only going to get harder as time goes by. Because social media has now opened the platform to a lot of people to do music. And it's very competitive. It's always been competitive. So people need to do what it takes. So I think when it comes to Aussie hip hop, people just need that competitive element, but also that competitive edge that comes with a competitive element. And I think with me, I've been doing music so long that I've learned all this as time goes by. It's taken me years to learn all this shit, you know. But I use my knowledge to pass on to the younger generation and tell them, you know, to save them the time of learning this shit out for themselves, cut corners.
True OG shit.
That's right.
That's right.
That's exactly right.
Get with it.
Yeah, OG shit. I've been around a long time. I feel bloody old. I feel as old as almost the Sharps or the Cave Clan, or even.
When was your first track? Do you remember your first track?
To be honest, I've recorded that many tracks. I do actually remember recording. I never wanted to be a rapper. That's a funny thing. Well, I never set out to be a rapper. But some of the, you know, I'm going to be honest. I hung around a lot of drop kicks in my early days. And some of them were absolute deadbeats. And some of those, one of them was like, you know, you got to rap, you got to do this, you got to, you know, become a rapper. You know, a few drop kicks on me, they loved rap, but they couldn't rap for shit. They thought they were the greatest thing ever. But looking back, they were jokes, and they wanted to, you know, they tried to emulate American gangster rap. And
yeah,
so,
which was a massive, even to this day, bro, is a massive conversation, like in the Aussie rap game and shit, man. And fucking shout out to Vexx, bro.
Who keeps it real, because Vexx has always kept the Aussie style.
And you know, like,
a lot of rappers do.
It was more common for an Australian rapper to rap in an American accent back fucking.
Oh yeah, and they got
back
clowned.
then.
They used to get clowned. The people.
And I heard a track from Vexx. When did I hear this track? Oh, I don't know exactly when the track is, but it's probably around 2010, bro.
Well, you see, there were people that.
Oh, yeah, it's probably even before that, bros.
Well, someone like Buck City.
And he came out hard, Aussie like.
Well, someone like Buck City who came from the States had a valid reason to sound American because they were American. There were so many people born here that started putting on a fake accent back when I first started rapping. And that I recognised from the start as a bit whack. And, you know, I got forced into rapping. And at the start, I was like, I didn't really like my sound. I thought I sounded.
But your sound's developed over time.
Oh, it's developed and evolved to the point.
Like when you look back at your first tracks and stuff, were you recording those in like a proper studio?
I was recording them on a Windows 98 computer,
So you're doing all the mixing and shit yourself. Like, were you mixing
the
yourself?
early days, on Cool Edit Pro, an old school.
I was mixing my first tracks. And I remember I met fucking Tanko Beats online in SoundCloud, bro. Shout out to you, a fucking sick beat maker, bro. And I always knew that when I heard his beats, bro, I was like, nah, like his beats are next level and shit. And like, yeah, he used to reach out to me and be like, yeah, you're a sick cunt. Fucking your raps are mad and shit. But that's when I first started releasing fucking music on SoundCloud. I used to mix all my stuff, like, but I wasn't even rapping to a microphone, I was rapping to the laptop.
To be honest, like, I quit music, as you probably experience yourself, you go through stages where you don't want to do music anymore and you take a break. I had a lull for years with music, like I kind of just gave up on it, like I wasn't really keen on it anymore and I walked away from it. And then years went by and then I'm like, you know what, I'm going to give this a second crack. And I'm glad I did, because when I gave it a second crack, that's when things started taking off for me, because I had my mind right. I knew I had lots of time to think about.
And that's important too, bros. Like, how did you get your mind right? You know, like,
because I had such a clear vision of how to get my music out that when I gave it the second chance, I took a second go at it. That's when things took off for me, and that's when I started building a buzz. And, I started making a name for myself, and I never thought I'd take it as far as what I did. I never thought my music would go out there. You know, like people, as you can attest to. You get to Queensland and people have heard my music now, you know. And
Hard out, bro. I was up this. That was just this year, bro. 2021. I was up the street and I seen this fella rocking THC TV, Tazzah Hip Hop Collective. You know, you're drinking there. I was like, oh, that's a mad shirt, bro. You know, I don't know. Started talking about Melbourne and, oh, do you know Rapology? I was like, yeah, I know Rapology.
Yeah, and you know that's now happened quite a few times. You know, situations like that. People have told me, oh, you know, this motherfucker, you know, the other side of
This motherfucker
town knows you, or the other side of the country knows you, and like, but at the same time, like, I've still got a long way to go ahead for myself. Like, if I want to keep taking my music further, like, you know, and I've worked with I've done a lot of work with international artists. But probably like the highlights, if I had to say for me, like, I've had a lot of controversy, like, as you've seen, like, it's probably also built a bit of a bad name for myself, like battling Prince Marky D, battling Pat Stay, you know, like, got into a few beefs, you know, but none with like local artists, more overseas artists. But see, all that has come from me defending Aussie hip hop, because a lot of these dudes that I've battled have. I don't care if an MC takes shots at me, I don't take it personally, but all the MCs I've battled have taken shots at Aussie hip hop, and that's where I've kind of said,
So you're doing Aussie hip hop solid.
Yeah, solid.
You know,
yeah,
you're
right.
coming
Defending.
in and saying,
yeah,
you know,
like,
fuck you, can't swear.
Like Pat Stay tried clowning me. Like he said, you know, he was generalising Aussie hip hop and putting it into a box and saying that, you know, he thought that Aussie hip hop was whack.
I don't think I've ever been dissed, bro.
Well,
I don't give a fuck about diss tracks, bro. Like, if anyone wants to diss me, I don't give a fuck.
For me, I don't care if someone wants to diss me, but when they start dissing the culture, the Aussie culture of hip hop, that's when I take offence. That's what
I just make music, bro, and you know, like, it is what it is. I never come left field at anyone, bro.
Yeah. I think because I try and like represent Aussie hip hop and I try and push it out there to the world. I think at times people, you know, might take umbrage to what I do, or they might have a different way of thinking about things. They might be offended in a way that they vocalize it, and then I do get myself into, you know, situations every now and again. Like,
but don't get me wrong, I've made tracks, bro, and I've had people like mates or whatever, you know. I wouldn't even say mates, bro. I'd say people that I don't even know very well. I've just been around them. Wouldn't even, like, I don't know if it's acquaintances, because, you know, actually I keep to myself, you know, but just people that, you know, you've seen and you talk to, you know them a little bit, but you don't know them that well, you know. They be rappers or whatever, you know, and they hear your tracks and they're like, oh, you're fucking talking to me in this track, and I'm like, if you think I'm, like, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know? I'm not trying to talk about no cunt.
Yeah. For me, I try not to.
Like, subliminally, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to talk about you, cunt. I don't give a fuck about you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they try to talk like, oh, hey, mate, you're dissing me in tracks. And
see, a lot of my songs.
I'm gonna diss you, but I'll diss you.
A lot of my music comes from me talking about past experiences. I talk about past experiences in my music. So some people are going to hear subliminal shots that they're going to relate to and think, oh, fuck, this is aimed at me. But I'm a truthful person, and if I'm putting truth in my music, I'm just telling it how it is.
You're just sort of, in a way, defending Aussie hip hop.
I'm defending Aussie hip hop.
You feel like they're bagging on it, and you're coming through oh, what, you think you're a sick rapper because you got views or you got followers? How about I'll throw these lyrics at you? Actually, I started battle rapping, bro.
Well, the only ones that I've got into conflict with are American artists who have disrespected Aussie hip hop, and then I've put them back in their place.
Bro, I'll tell you, this is how I started rapping. I was sitting here in my mate's shed. Shout out to Treno. And then we were just drinking, bro. And my mate was there, and we were both drunk, and I just started dissing him, bro. And then he started fucking dissing me back, and we're just rapping at each other, bro.
Sounds like me and Smithy.
And then that's it, bro. We just battle rapped, and then I was like my shit was actually good, bro. I wasn't just like, oh, you know, you're gay and fucking, whatever.
It had proper bars.
Like it had flow, and like I could keep going consistently.
Yeah.
And for someone that's never like wrote a rap and done rap, like it wasn't. I was blown away, bros. Like by my own shit. I was like, fuck, like I'm fucking actually pretty good at this shit.
And what year was that?
Bros, that was like 2011, probably 2012.
So it's going back a bit.
Yeah, it's back. It's like way back, bro. Like, but before then, I was always like, I would say I was like secretly writing, bro. Because I wouldn't show no cunt, bro. I had books from school where I'd write poetry and I'd write little raps. And then, you know, and I would never show no cunt, bro, because it'd be like, I didn't feel confident to show anyone.
I can relate, man. It was like me.
It took me a while to fucking actually like really come out and show people my raps, bro. And by then I had developed a little bit more, and
you developed the artistry.
I think, yeah, and I think the artistry was not. Well, I'm not going to say always there, but I've always had good writing. But
you had an artistic.
I tried to develop my flow. I tried to develop my vocal, my delivery. But that's just in person. And then when you go into a recording studio and try to record that shit, it's a whole different ball game. So that's why I do my stuff with Deno, bro, because I can, you know, have this connection with him where, you know, I'm about to go in the studio and try to sing some shit, and it's embarrassing, bro. Like, you know, you can't go in there and start to sing when it's different if you're a singer. Like, you get in there and you kill it, but like, if you're someone like me who doesn't sing, bro, and you try to get in and sing and you know you can't sing, it's like such a awkward, embarrassing feeling that you don't like it, and then they start to laugh at you, and it's like
Deno helps people get into the zone.
But I feel comfortable doing that with him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
you can get into
that
zone.
Chemistry right there helps me create better music, bro, and that's what I look for when I create music.
When I create music, I try and tap into experiences. I try and tap into emotion. I try and like find a deep-seated purpose.
I feel like a lot of your stuff is like you're like past, like you're talking about the past.
Yeah, it's introspective and
reflective. You're bringing yourself there, and
yeah.
This is what I was, and this is what happened. And,
it's introspective and reflective, and like,
you know,
it's something that, to me, it's about making music that's something that affects people on a level.
I didn't think I asked you this the whole time, bro. Tell us about your track, bro. Trying to keep it G.
Well, that one there.
Like, how did that come about, bro? Like, what was
that there was coming up from frustrations because so many people that I knew, like, look around, you know, so many friends that alcohol's ruined them, ice ruined them. They ended up either dead or in jail, and I lost so many friends to alcoholism, to drug abuse, you know, to just dumb shit like that. It made me angry, and it made me think, well, here I am succeeding in life, but so many of my friends have not been on that journey with that have finished up on that journey at some point, and they have met their demise through one way or another, and have ended up finished. And it's just that frustration of looking back and saying, this is how things used to be, and now this is where I'm at. But why did these things turn out so bad for people? That, like, there's so many people I try to help, and
it's a lot of shit, bro.
Yeah, it's a lot of shit just pent up that I just build up inside, and I think music's an outlet because I release that through music, and it makes me feel better. It's cathartic. It's cathartic.
Is it something that you like with that song? Did you just write it, boom, like hit the beat,
it just poured out of me.
Just come out.
I didn't need much time to think about.
Did you chuck the chorus on there in the studio, or did you have the chorus?
With every song, the chorus just is shaped by the verse, so it's just.
And then, do you write your shit in the studio?
No, never. No. To me, I like knowing what I'm going to say when I go into that studio.
Yeah.
Like I never.
So you rehearse it over and over again?
Not really. I write it once, and then I just go in there and lay it down.
You write on paper?
In the old days, I did. No, I write it on my phone these days. It took me a while to get with the times, but now, yeah.
Once it takes you a while to get to the times, like, especially like us, you know, like, I was writing my stuff on paper, like, I wasn't starting out writing my stuff on the phone, but then you switch it to the phone, you can, like, copy, paste, and change flows.
Yeah,
you can do a lot of different stuff.
When I've seen so many MCs come and do things on their phone, like write their lyrics, I thought, I'll give it a go. And for me, it's just really, I don't even really need to reference my lyrics, because they're usually just memorized, and it's just like, I could have a quick glance of them, like, I already know, I'm going to go in there and what I'm going to say, and I go in there and say it. And I think the lyrics, just having them on hand, kind of just reassurance that, it's kind of like a psychological thing. Half the time it's just like, I know what I'm going to say, but it's just there. The lyrics are there just to reassure me.
Well, me, bros, it's like I feel like I'm in training, bro. Like I'm trying so much different stuff, so it's like I don't even have a set way of doing it. I'm just like, I'm here, I'm doing this and doing that, I'm trying all this different shit to develop myself more and more. And, I'm having fun with it, bro, and just different formulas for different songs. Like, some lyrics I wrote ages and ages ago, and it's like, I already had that in my head, and I just spat that, like, over a beat, and others have taken me more than one session. But I've just done about 9 months or whatever, fucking recording a shitload of music, and then I sort of like, I have breaks here and there, just depending on what's happening, like in my life, and where I have a studio. Like, I've got a studio at home, I record heaps, bro, but or I just do it on my phone, but I can't even remember what I was gonna say.
Well, for me,
I was gonna say, like, I've had a bit of a break, so I always study music as well. So now when I'm going to go back into recording again, like, I know I'm going to record a lot, because I've got a lot more to try, I've got a lot more stuff to do, so as I go on, I learn different tricks, and I'm going to try more shit. So I'm keen as fuck to see how my next shit's going to be, and the processes, and working with the same producer, you build a relationship, and you can build more and more higher. Otherwise, if you're just working with all these different people, it's like, you do learn, like, all different tricks off different people, but if you don't have a solid guy or a couple guys or whatever, then you're just running there, you run here, you run there. It's like,
you're right. And
it's like having a solid dealer, bro. Like, you want to have a solid dealer, you don't want to, like...
I can relate. I can relate to that. Now, before because we're going to wrap this up in a minute, before we go way over time, but what I'll do, I'll ask you one music-related question. You can answer it, and you can do the same with me, and then we'll wrap it up.
Oh, that's good.
Alright, so my music-related question to you, before we wrap this up, is, where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Doesn't have to be musically.
Bro, it's the hardest question, bro.
Doesn't have to be musically.
I thought it was going to be like, oh, what's the inspiration or some shit, like, now I've got to, like, predict my shit.
We don't have to predict, but
I'm going to be the biggest fucking household name you've ever fucking seen, bro. Nah, on some real shit, bro. I see myself, as I said, I'm going to record a lot of music.
Yeah.
Fucking hoes, fucking bitches, getting money, living that rap lifestyle. You know how it is, bro. We're not fake around here.
Kicking it, we're chilling it.
What on it, cat? Nah. Nah, fucking, I'll tell you about. I see myself, honestly, fucking bitches and getting money. Nah, this guy, he's over there, he keeps going like that. Nah, I'll be honest, right? He's on the run, bro, you can't see his face. Nah, I see myself releasing music, more music, recording more music and releasing more music, and just releasing a pretty solid, just a solid body of work, bro. That something that I'm proud of, and something that,
legacy.
not so much even a legacy, bros. Just more of like good music that I'm proud of, and off of that music, I know I can get into other revenues and
What you
different avenues, bros, and just create different opportunities for myself so I can express my creative ability, whilst at the same time I can set up a few money revenue streams here and there. And you know, I got to meet sick cunts like yourself, bros, and you know, like just get to express myself at the end of the day too, bro. And I just want to express my creativity and reach the highest potential that I possibly can, and hopefully that can bring more opportunities, and you know, just keep going, brother.
There's some genuine goals, you know, and I respect that, you know, and props to you, man. Like that's
all this fucking bitches and getting money for starters, bro. That's some rude ass language, bro. I don't even talk like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I got sisters.
You're humble. You're humble.
I've got two sisters. Got my mother. You know, got a good missus and shit. Like
you're humble in your approach.
Yeah, like a lot of these people look at this rap shit. This rap, like, nah, bro, that's not me. Like I don't.
No, props to that, man. Props to that, and I dig that completely. So, now, what would be your question to me?
So my question to you.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Nah, how's that? I take the easy way out. It's the same thing to you. Nah, my question to you, bro, is you know, if you've got any message out there to, doesn't even have to be to any, just to a younger person that is looking at coming into the industry, or looking at, you know, coming into the industry, what's your advice?
Alright, because now I'm looking right at the camera. Alright, I'm going to tell them, I'm going to say to them that if they're looking to come into the industry, they've got to be themselves, stay genuine to who they are, never sell out, never try and chase false dreams, like, or, you know, unrealistic things. That just for them to be themselves, true to who they are, and make music to fulfill their own personal goals, and never aim too big, because success will come in due time. So don't follow these other
success.
Yeah,
success is one thing to you. Success is one thing to me.
Yeah,
so,
it means different things to different people.
Yeah.
So just be, you know, proud of what you do. The small accomplishments. Don't compare to other people.
Don't compare yourself to me, because you ain't shit compared to me, bro. Straight up.
But yeah, don't compare to what other people are doing. Just set your own goals and your own targets. And be proud of what you do when you accomplish them.
And fucking stream our new track, bros.
That's right.
Never been heard.
Never been heard. And we've got more songs that will come in due time. And also,
shout outs to Deno, you're a sick cunt, bro.
And shout out to Vexx and everyone who supports us.
People sleeping on Deno, bro. Nah, people aren't sleeping on Deno. I can't say that.
No one's.
I can't say that people are sleeping on Deno, because no one's fucking sleeping on Deno. It's just that a lot of motherfuckers in this rap shit need to know about him, bro.
They do.
He's incredible.
They do. He has a huge resume. He's even worked with Chopper Reed. He's had Chopper Reed in the studio.
And these two sick cunts right here, bro. You know what I'm saying? Let's wrap this shit up, bro.
Alright,
stop it.
So
peace, man.